What made you depend on the person who hurt you? I found my parents swinging from ropes in our living room when I got home from school. My backpack hit the floor. I stood there staring at their purple faces. That's how my older brother Rylan found me 3 hours later. He covered my eyes with his hand and pulled me against his chest, calling 911 with shaking hands. "Don't look," he whispered. The paramedics had to cut them down while we sat on the front lawn staring at the red and blue lights. My brother slipped his hand in mine. "I won't leave you like they did." I didn't believe him. The first few weeks I couldn't close my eyes without seeing them swinging, so Rylan did everything he could to support me. He moved into my room and held me through the nightmares. He'd stroke my hair, saying, "I'm here," until I stopped shaking. He dropped out of college the next week even though I begged him not to. "You're all that matters now," he said. We fell into a routine where he was my whole world, and I was his. My friends said I was lucky to have someone who cared so much, and I agreed. Over time, the pain and the nightmares seemed to fade, and I managed to focus on school and friends again, even getting my first boyfriend. "I think you'd love Nikki," I said, but Rylan sighed, almost disappointed. "What will you do if he leaves you? You're still grieving. This isn't good for you," he said, sounding concerned like any other big brother. I hugged Rylan's arm and leaned my head on his shoulder. "I'm okay now. You can trust me. He's a good guy." At first, Rylan seemed to let it slide, but soon his concern started feeling suffocating. Wherever we were, he'd check in every 20 minutes, asking where we were and if I wanted him to come pick me up already. He showed up to Nikki's work to have a talk. Nikki mentioned Ryland had threatened him, but I didn't believe it and said that he was just afraid of losing his little sister after losing our parents too. But when I tried going on a date in promiscuous clothes, Ryland suddenly raised his voice at me for the first time, shouting, "How could you be selling your body to a man like that? You're too young." I felt more shocked than angry. "You're not my dad. You're my brother. I'll date whoever and wear whatever I want." Even my life outside of dating seemed like a problem. When I applied to colleges, Ryland turned every discussion into a fight. "Why do you want to leave me?" he'd ask in an aggressive tone with matching sad eyes. "It's not leaving. It's just moving forward. It's what mom and dad would want." I tried explaining, but he just slammed his hand on the kitchen counter. "Yeah? Well, where are they now?" He looked at my horrified expression and walked out the house to get some air. I fell asleep before Rylan returned from his walk, only to wake up later that night to someone sliding into my bed. I smelled Nikki's cologne and felt his favorite hoodie. Arms wrapped around me, and I snuggled back. "Nikki, what are you doing here? My brother will be so mad if he sees you," I whispered, turning around. But it was Rylan's face in the darkness. I screamed and shoved him away. "What are you doing?" His voice was calm, as if what he was doing was normal, expected even. "I thought you'd like it. We did this before," he whispered, trying to hop back into the bed with me. I threw a pillow at him. "Get out!" He grabbed my wrists when I tried to run. "I promised to protect you, but you had to let him touch you like this." He got up and pulled out the engagement ring I had hidden in my drawer and threw it in the trash. "I told you not to leave me," he said threateningly before locking the door from outside. I pounded and screamed all night until my voice became raspy and I passed out. This time I woke up to Nikki duct taped to a chair in front of me with blood running down his face. "Look who came to visit," Rylan said coldly. "Tell him you don't love him," Rylan said, gripping a baseball bat. When I refused, he swung the bat at Nikki's ribs. "Fine, tell him you love me." "You're crazy," I yelled. I watched his jaw clench tightly before he shifted his attention to Nikki's finger and bent it backward, breaking it one after the other every time I refused. Nikki screamed through the tape. "I loved you first," Rylan yelled, tears and pain clear in his eyes. "Before him, before anyone. I gave up everything for us." I sobbed watching Nikki struggle, the veins on his neck popping from the struggle. Rylan placed the bat down for a moment and turned around to grab my face and try to force a kiss. "You're mine. You're all I have. I'm all you'll ever need." I turned away in disgust, avoiding his lips until he gave up. He raised the bat over Nikki's head one last time just as Nikki broke free, tackling Rylan to the wall. I grabbed my phone and called 911 while they fought. They arrested Rylan for assault and kidnapping and false imprisonment. Nikki spent weeks in the hospital and his hand never healed right. We still eloped quietly the day before moving across the country.